Welcome back to another exciting, maybe less exciting than last week, edition of Rake Your Position. I am your host, Ahron.
And I am Joe, the groundskeeper. We may possibly have a soda line coming out called Moon Hug. So if you could keep an eye on your major grocery shelves, you may see that.
We gotta change the order. I don't know.
All right, Jared, you're up next.
Follow that. I am Jay Lee the Roper, and subscribe now to Moon Hug.
And I'm Corey the Statman, and somebody else is going to have to take stats because I can't type with these on my hands.
There you
We'll
go.
figure it
You
out.
can, just not well.
That's true.
Better than us. Well, thank you guys for being patient. I have had a rough week with the health, and so we're recording a day late. So the pod's going to be a couple days late, probably getting up. But we're excited. We've got a lot to talk about. We had, of course, we had an awesome pod last week. So thank you, coaches, for being on. Within like 4 days, that was our number one viewed episode on YouTube. So apparently everybody likes coaches better than us. So fair enough.
As they
We will
should.
retire and they can take over. But we're looking forward to having them back on. Of course, these guys need a chance to redeem themselves. They got whooped in some baseball trivia by the old guys. So we got to do some mind push-ups and get in shape for next round, boys.
I don't remember that.
But yeah, for the rankings, not much has changed, and a lot of teams are in flux right now with the trade deadline rapidly approaching. So we didn't have an updated rankings. We've been voting Braves, Rays, Orioles, Rangers, Dodgers, D-backs, and all those teams
And
are
the 26 other teams.
He had to throw him in there, didn't he, Corey?
We've been voting for
One person's been voting for
them.
them.
They've made it there twice, and the Reds and Brewers are hanging
The
in there.
Pirates also, since they were on
Nah.
there a couple times
No.
too.
That was all Jared's fault. So we're
Why
excited.
was that my wait. Why was that my fault?
You voted for the Pirates first, right? I think
probably
you.
did.
Hey, I had a whole PowerPoint about him.
Yeah, Joe was high on them all year. So we'll update the rankings next week after the trade deadline drastically shapes some of these rosters. And we're going to spend a lot of time on some deadline predictions. We got a lot of names here that we're going to pick each other's brains and see where these players might end up. But before we do that, we want to just highlight Hall of Fame weekend. Two of our favorite players finally got in. Fred McGriff, of course, being a Braves fan. He was only with the Braves for like 5 years, but it was very impactful time with the Braves. And you know me and my group chats, I've been harping for him to be in the Hall of Fame for years. You guys get tired of me texting about him. But it just blew my mind that this guy's sitting there with 493 homers.
Or Brave stuff in general.
Or Brave
And
stuff in
that's
general.
like
Fair
the
enough.
fifth least. Like, he's so far down on my list of people I'm tired of you talking to me about. Like, you can talk to me about Fred McGriff all
Okay.
you want.
Just
Before
not
you even really-
Andrew, not
No.
Freddie, not Acuna,
Yeah, Chipper.
not Chipper.
Yeah.
I don't.
You can talk about him because he's got a sweet nickname, right?
The crime dog, baby.
Yeah.
I will back up the claim. Cooney has sang his praises like since he retired. So
Been trying to get him in there.
yeah, I think you definitely helped with some good vibes because he's in.
They finally got him in there. He got in. I can't remember now. Was his last year eligibility, or it was the players committee that got him in, right?
Yeah, it was not
Yeah,
the writers.
it
The
was not
Veterans
the
Committee,
writers.
I think is
Yeah,
what it's
Veterans,
called.
Yeah.
So just to highlight a few things real quick for him, you know, he played in an era of, steroid era, and he never had a mark. And 500 homers has always been that benchmark. You get 500 homers, you're in. And he was sitting at 493, which always blew my mind because, of course, he played during the 94-95 strike. And so I just did a little bit of math here since our stat man is all tied up there. For his career, he hit a homer every 17.7 plate appearances. And he averaged 649 plate appearances for his 12-year peak here. So in 94, he was roughly 171 plate appearances shy of his average because the strike took 171 plate appearances away. So that's about 10 homers, the rate he was going. Then 95, it cut him over between 2 and 3 homers. So if he just did his normal season for 94 and 95 with a full season, of at bats, he would have been somewhere in the 405 to 410 homer or 505 to 510 homer range, and he would have been in the first ballot. So I don't know why. As far as like the strike goes, it seems like he's one of the players that got affected the most when it came to voting. I'm sure that's happened to other people that we're less familiar with, but I'm glad he's finally in. Always been a great teammate, played well in the playoffs, the postseason, helped the Braves win that 95 World Series. So I'm excited that he's in there finally. Another hatless or logoless hat because he was so good for so many teams.
I was about ready to ask how many. Well, number one, that strike season actually hindered my development as well. That's probably why I didn't make it.
Yeah,
but
fourth grade Little League got cut short.
How many teams did he play with total in his career?
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick. I know Toronto, San Diego,
Atlanta,
Tampa,
Cubs,
into
Dodgers.
Cubs.
No, I just need a total, guys. I don't need every team.
So is that 6, 7? How many did we just say? You were counting them, Corey? I'm looking real quick.
6.
6 teams.
Yeah,
I
6
didn't.
teams. Yep.
So he had a brief stint with the Cubs, and it was.
And he played well.
You know, I was young. I didn't realize it. He had 30. He's 38 years old. Had 30 home runs and 103 RBIs. Like,
yeah,
pretty good for one of the senior seasons there. His last full season. So,
yeah, he played 195 games in a year and a half with the Cubs, 42 homers and 144 RBIs with an 879 OPS. I mean, he kept doing it.
Can't believe you didn't get the Cubs logo.
All right, so what do we say? This is Lily, everybody. Say hi.
Hey,
Hey, Lily.
All right, so what do we think about Rolen?
He was okay.
yeah, I heard he was a decent guy.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead, Jaylee.
No. I'll let you lead it off.
Well, I kind of have a million things spinning in my mind because, I mean, he's, I guess maybe somewhat surprisingly, he went in as a Cardinal, even though he played more seasons in Philadelphia. So I think that speaks. I mean, he had the most success as far as winning games with the Cardinals. So, but that, as a Cardinals fan, that's pretty cool. And it's another bird that's in the Hall of Fame. Best
You love
franchise
birds
in the National League. To be honest, I don't know if he's my favorite player of all time, but he's definitely like top 3. No, for real, he is. And I don't want to sound like an old man when I say this, but I will. You could say he played the game the right way, however you want to take that. It was tough, hard-nosed.
You sound old.
I do sound old. Well,
your beard got grayer.
No showboating. He just let us play speak for itself. I love players who don't wear batting gloves because I've never understood wearing gloves for anything really, unless you're like picking up nails.
Not even that either.
So that was cool. Yeah, sometimes not even that. And he could play defense like a beast. He still probably is the best I've seen at a bare hand, slow roller. If you've played baseball, you understand not the fielding is the hardest, it's that throw that's the hardest. It makes no sense when you're turned over. So the fact that he completed that so often, it was always a joy to watch.
Ask
He's one
Andy
of my favorites.
LaRoche that. You know what I'm talking about, Skip?
He struggled with
what's that?
He was on the exact opposite end of the
defense spectrum.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jay Lee. I think if he did rebound from this, but help me remember who it was. Was it like Hung Soi Choi or something that he ran into on the base pass?
It was the Cubs because there's a guy named Hesop Choi.
maybe it was him. Big dude for the Pirates. Did he play on the Pirates too?
Yeah, that's pretty close. Remember.
Anyway, he had a really bad shoulder injury. Like pretty bad. And then, he got traded to Toronto after he got in La Russa's doghouse. But if he never had that shoulder injury, I mean, he was a monster there for the Cardinals with some 900 OPSs, 1,000 in 2004. like I said, he still rebounded and overall had a good enough career to make the Hall of Fame, but that sucked when he had that injury.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jaylee?
I think for me, kind of along the same lines of you, he kind of came to St. Louis like right probably when I started watching baseball the most, so it'd be like 2002.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really cool because I mean you had that three-headed monster in him, Pujols and Edmonds, and like that was
Go
really
look
cool
at
to see.
those stats. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's pretty ridiculous. It's surprising they didn't do too much more than what they did together, but it was always nice to have him bat behind Albert, who was, I mean, obviously just straight dominating through those years. But I mean, even in Philly, I mean, got the Rookie of the Year. It's always kind of surprising, like to see some of these players kind of get traded to certain teams. But I guess if you don't want to pay them or whatever, but no, Scott Rolen was always fun to have at third. Like you knew there was always a chance he was going to make an out if the ball was in his vicinity, regardless. Kind of seems like the Cardinal way is to have two cornerstone pieces to make the team really go, like Albert and Roland, and now you kind of have Goldie and Arenado. I mean, that might change soon, but I don't know. He was always a fun player to watch for me. Probably not my favorite, but in that era, that's kind of like what I said right when I started watching baseball a lot. So a lot of cool highlights from him, and happy to see he put the birds on the bat when, like you said, he could have easily picked any other team. But that's pretty much all I got. And then did he get traded for Aaron's boy Troy Gloss?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you know the trades he was involved in. I'll come clean here, Joe. I've mouthed Roland always because I always compared him to Chipper. He came up a year after Chipper. They were Philly Brave rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably my second favorite third baseman in the league at the time, but I could never admit that because of where he came from. But definitely a joy to watch.
Really, really athletic for a big guy.
Yeah,
right.
And he still kind of looks like, he looks like Paul Goldschmidt playing third base.
I didn't realize he was 6'4". Like he
He's
does
a
not
big
look
dude.
6'4".
Big dude.
Yeah.
I love when they would pitch inside on him. He wouldn't even move. He would just like raise his hands up, maybe get out of the way.
So do you remember the trade? How they got him? Like that's gonna be
Polanco, right?
Polanco, Bud Smith, and was there a third guy? I feel like maybe
Mike Timlin. Yeah, Mike Timlin, it says here. Yeah, Bud Smith threw that perfect game, or was it a perfect game? No hitter. And they got Scott Rolen for him. Thanks, Philly.
Yeah.
Scott Rolen, born where I was born. Joe, did you have more?
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
And one of our listeners, my friend, I'll call him Meyer Mania, so I don't throw his whole name out there, and this is so true. I encourage our listeners, and especially you guys on the pod right now, Scott Rolen. And hey, Scott, this is not a compliment, but I'm sorry, it's true.
Thank you,
Scott Rolen,
mark him off the list,
is slowly turning into Gene Hackman. Google the pictures, and it is undeniable. I don't know if maybe that reference has already been made, like in the media.
Poor Scott needed a hairdresser for his Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that wasn't great. No, I actually looked up
Google the pictures.
I just looked it up.
So there was a little Hall of Fame like Roland highlight clip that they put on YouTube, and like kind of I think goes to the same way you guys saying he played the game the right way. Like he would hit a home run, like fastest home run trot I've ever seen, from the 6'4" guy. And then the other thing I listened to his speech, and I don't know if you guys listened to it, but he was talking about how his dad. There was one line his dad said in his life that basically is what he claimed made him so successful. I don't know if that's true, but it was a fun story where he was actually doing a all-star high school basketball game, and it was at the end of the school year. So like he played baseball for the full season, and then he hadn't picked up a basketball in 4 months. He's like, man, all these guys are better than me. I can't go out there and compete with them. And then his dad's like, oh, well, what can you do, Scotty? And he's like, I know I can out hustle him. And he's like, well, do that then. And so then like his Roland was basically saying that he just, anytime he was at a point in his career where he was struggling and he was trying to figure out what he needed to do to kind of get back on track, he'd always just remember his dad saying, well, do that then. And so like it was just a fun thing of the things that people say that you don't really, whenever they say them, doesn't seem like it has much of an effect, but maybe to the people you say them to, it does. And especially it seems like he and his it's always cool when you see the parents at the Hall of Fame inductions, because and I think he got the call when he was at his parents too. Like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for that. I cry at everything now, so it's
Dude,
just,
it's different when you're a parent yourself, man.
I
get
didn't
you.
I didn't
I'm
cry
with
at
you.
all, but now it's just
We'll
I
have
will
our own
cry.
separate dad pod.
Yeah, there you go.
After this. Well, that's good, guys. Well, yeah. So kudos to that, and we'll be looking forward to the off season. One of our off season episodes is going to be a breakdown on next year's Hall of Fame class and who we are looking forward to getting in next year. So be on the lookout for that.
Hoping
But
to get the
now,
call.
yeah, Jared Lee is going to get on the ballot finally. But now we're going to our deadline predictions. So I'm going to hand it off to Corey to get us rolling there.
Sure, yeah. So at the top of our list was Shohei Ohtani, and if we would have recorded yesterday or maybe last week, we might have still talked about it. But he did get crossed off the list. Aaron and I talked off pod that we both had him going to the Blue Jays just because the Blue Jays had the pieces to make it happen. They got some good young pitchers that could have been part of the package there. But we don't need to talk about Shohei, other than the fact that he threw a complete game shutout and then also hit 2 home runs.
But he hurt himself. Did you see
He
that?
got cramps.
Was it cramps?
I would get cramps too if I threw a complete game shutout and then came out and
I mean,
DH'd the game
you're
after.
carrying the franchise all year long.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a couple innings off.
I think that's probably what it was. He's just like, all right, guys.
I hope it was just cramps.
It was. It has
Okay,
come out
good.
that it was just cramps.
Good.
But I'm guessing. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we know he's not being traded now, but I'll say so initially it was, we're open to offers, and then it was, we're JK, we're actually buyers. I took that as the typical, we're going to drive up the price by saying we're not trading him, and then when they did swing the trade with the White Sox, I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
they're going for it. So
yeah, I thought that as well.
That they added Moose already too. I haven't checked in on how he's doing, but Rendon's hurt again at third base. They brought Moose in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Mustowski, that guy, Mike.
Yeah.
I can't say his name. Mustowskis.
Moustakis.
Yeah,
Moustakis.
he was out in Colorado playing part time, and the Angels brought him over.
I think they're playing.
I didn't know where he was.
They were playing the Rockies. It was one of those dugouts.
Yeah. They were already in Colorado, and he just in between games.
They're like, well, I guess since we're already here and you're already here, you might as well just take a short walk.
Like, oh, you got a third base on your bench? Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah. Anyway, the guys we are going to talk about, the next team that was up on my list was the St. Louis Cardinals. And they've got some guys. We almost took one of them off until the rumors earlier today. But we can start with Jordan Montgomery. And there were a few teams we talked about a few pods ago that were looking for back end of the rotation help. And I think Montgomery has played to better than back end of the rotation help, but I think he wouldn't be too expensive of a get. And so I think he will go to the Phillies.
Ooh, interesting.
For some package. I didn't really put a lot of work in on the return here, other than
most of mine I just put prospects.
Yeah, I mean, as far like looking at, for some of these bigger names, teams that had a deeper farm system.
Yeah.
Whereas like Montgomery, I don't think he's going to be some crazy price. So I think any team's got a chance if they want it. And so I think the Phillies, like we mentioned, have always been aggressive and they need that rotation piece. So I'm going to go Jordan Montgomery to the Phillies. Whoever wants to go next. We're going to keep this order, so whoever wants to jump in.
I'll make it quick. I had the Phillies and then I crossed them out and I put Baltimore.
Ooh.
Don't ask me why. I just got a feeling.
That's going to be a lot of these guys are going to need back end starting rotation pieces.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys have similar.
Corey, are you like keeping a?
Yes.
This is a challenge we got going on here.
That's correct.
Oh man, how much time do I have?
You
have 10 seconds.
Your picks in.
You had 2
I
weeks. You had 2 weeks. This list has been available to you for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I know. JK, I got a deep dived here. I have him going to Arizona.
Oh, I like that. I got him go to Tampa. Especially, I look even better now that Eflin got hurt yesterday. So they're down in yet another starter in Tampa.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get Randy. Maybe we can get Randy back.
Johnson.
Maybe.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
Better than what
you can
we got
probably
right now.
hire him. You can hire him as a photographer. I
Yeah.
bet.
Look up the Montgomery's picture in the Tampa Rays jersey.
Yeah, him and Griffey, the Hall of Fame photographers. All right. We're gonna stay with a pitcher and with the Cardinals and go Jack Flaherty. This one I don't know about. I chose the Guardians because the Guardians are close. Bieber is coming back for the last month. They're two
Justin?
games out. Yeah, Justin Bieber. He's gonna play in Cleveland on August 31st.
That's who the Cardinals are getting for
Yeah.
Flaherty.
Yeah.
Hey, sell tickets, baby.
They're going to do a concert. So they sell more tickets
Justin.
that
They're
way.
Justin Bieber has agreed to play a concert at Busch. And
While
then the
baseball's
return
happening?
is Jack Flaherty. Yeah, he's in Big Mac Land actually.
Nice.
But so I think, and like the Guardians, I think if the Guardians get Flaherty hasn't had a great year. It's been okay though. But if you have Bieber and McKenzie and Flaherty, and then you have an offense that is somewhat competent, like the Guardians should be playing better. They need to make up 17 games on the Twins to win that division by 15. I think Jack Flaherty helps them do that.
Not the Jack Flaherty I know. But I'm gonna go slight off script here. Arenado's next on our list, right?
Yeah.
Him and Flaherty are both going to the Dodgers.
Okay.
And then we're getting at least Bobby Miller, and that starts the conversation.
Oh yeah, if Arenado's in a deal, you'll get Bobby Miller for sure.
And then I've been looking at some prospects, and then I hope they also get this Diego Cartaya kid. Yeah, that dude looks like
OTP baby.
Yeah, I know that's what we do.
Yeah.
I think Michael Busch would be a guy that could come and play an infield spot if you want that.
I thought Busch would be the Arenado conversation, except for the fact the Cardinals have 13 of those guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But they have just starting pitchers.
Well, and the Dodgers. I mean,
the catcher makes sense.
Yeah.
But they used to play Herrera and see what they actually have. I don't know.
Anyway,
we don't talk about the Cardinals anymore. Yeah, sorry.
Flaherty.
I like that. I like Arenado, Flaherty, Dodgers. That's a good idea. I like that.
Flaherty's from that area.
Did we look at all at like no trade or 10-5 or anything?
Arenado has a full no trade, but he's from California.
And his agent said that he would waive it.
He would waive it to the Dodgers and others.
But I'm assuming some of these other guys on this list have that as well, right?
Some of them do. I did not look at them. I think some of the
none of these guys are 10-5 though.
No, but I think Scherzer and Verlander at least probably have something.
Got it.
I'll say the Angels get another starter, and he's the one.
I like that choice.
See,
this is the reason I filled this out 2 weeks ago, and I wanted the Angels to sell. So again,
yeah, I didn't have the Angels picking up any of these guys, so I'm okay there. I have Flaherty going to Baltimore. I could see him going to Tampa and Montgomery going to Baltimore or whatever. Interchangeable, but yeah, I got Flaherty to Baltimore. I'm a little scared of your Cleveland pick too after they just traded Ahmed Rosario for Syndergaard. Like, that's just a straight salary dump. That's not trying to win. So,
well, I mean, I don't think Ahmed Rosario was really helping him win that much, though.
That's probably true.
Anyway, I understood again. Filled this out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yes, our next guy is Arenado. I have him staying put, so I don't have to elaborate on that too much. Jared's got him to the Dodgers. Joe?
Yeah.
Staying put.
That's a terrible call.
I didn't stay put as well. Even after today, I don't think that Mozeliak is going to actually do something like that.
Well, I'll stand on my own ground there, and
I think they should. I think they should trade Arenado and Goldsmith. I've been telling you guys that for weeks. Like, you have ready-made MLB corner infielders, young and cheap. you might as well go with them for the next couple of years and get what you can pitching wise for Arenado and Goldie. But will Mosaic actually do something smart? I'm skeptical.
I guess I was gonna say when's the last time he did it, but getting Arenado for what he got him for was smart.
That was just the Rockies being all time dumb. I still don't understand that.
Have we ever understood anything the Rockies did? They gave
No.
Chris Bryant $182 million.
He's on the IL again.
Yeah. Wait, I'll tell you. Well, I'm gonna keep that a secret. All right. Next up, Cody
I'm excited
Bellinger.
about this one. Let's see what you guys got.
Well, I don't know what to think about these Cubs, because they've played better than their record should indicate. They're not that far out. That being said, I mean, we talked about how, before the pod, some of these guys that signed the 1-year deals are doing exactly what their team was hoping they would do. I think that's happening with Cody Bellinger. And I know a lot of Cubs fans that I see are hoping that he gets extended. I would like it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Doesn't
think
he
Cody
have an option?
I don't
Did I make
think
that up?
so. I don't think he
I'm looking.
would. Are you saying a player option? I think it was just a straight 1-year deal. It was basically like equivalent to the qualifying offer, because I don't think the Dodgers even qualified him. But,
Yeah, I think it was just straight 1-year deal.
yeah. So I have, and boy, I don't know. I have the Yankees, who have some guys, and I don't like the Yankees are a team. They're in last place, but they're over 500 in last place. I don't know if they're still in last place.
They are.
Yeah. Okay. So they're 6 games over 500 in last place, and it's like, yeah, you're in last place team. Okay, so wait a second, you're 6 games over 500. Maybe you shouldn't. And I think the Yankees are a team that won't, because that's just how they do. Yes, Aaron.
For the record, he has a $12.5 million mutual option with a $5 million buyout. So basically,
He's not taking.
someone's going to have to pay him $5 million because
Yes.
he's played himself into a multi-year deal.
Yes. So I think the Yankees make a lot of sense to me, and so I mean he plays, well, depending on where Judge is, he plays left field if Judge is healthy and Bader is healthy, and that's a very good defensive outfield and a very good offensive outfield. And I just
And he can play center when Bader gets hurt.
yes, and he can play right when Judge gets hurt, and
Yeah.
and it makes a lot of sense. I think the Dodgers I think would make sense too, but the Dodgers are just going to trade for everybody, I guess. I'm not sure what's happening there. But I got the Yankees.
Yep. Same. Ditto.
Ooh.
Really?
For real? For real?
That's what I wrote down. That's what my handwriting says.
Screenshot.
Nice.
I'm going to elaborate a little
Oh yeah,
bit.
go.
Go for it, man.
I just think lefties should always dominate in that park. And so I just think it makes sense for them to points you guys just said, like they seem to always have an outfielder hurt. I think you find a way to try to get rid of Giancarlo Stanton, but no one's going to take that deal. But I don't know. I kind of wish he would stay in Chicago because I like Belly there too. But if he's going to get traded, I think New York is the place he goes to.
And Rizzo's actually playing pretty bad right now too, so he's a backup at first base if all the outfielders are.
True.
Well, I
DJ.
looked around at some. Go ahead, Corey. I guess you weren't done yet.
No. I was just going to talk about all the former Cubs that are on the Yankees with DJ and Glaber and Rizzo and
A lot of
maybe Bellinger but yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Joe. I'm ready for your pick now. I just wanted to give you more time. I know you needed it.
Yeah, no, I was looking at some teams that look like their outfield is struggling. So there's a few on the list. I ended up going with team down south, the Lone Star State, Houston Astros. Or Houston. Call them that sometimes.
I'm putting these in. I'm not. Okay. Do you have any additional thoughts on that, or just?
I just saw that like their best outfielders OPSing like 730, and the other guys are in the 600s. So
Yeah, they've had.
they want to make
as well.
I'm sure they want to win that division. So they'll make some moves for some hitting.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice. Altuve and Jordan just came back, so we'll see how their offense goes with those two guys in there. But that's good. I like that. I actually picked him going to Miami. Miami's seems like they're always an outfielder short. A lot of them are hurt right now. Jazz is trying to play center and can't stay healthy. Their first basemen are okay, but if Soler's going to be stuck in right field, or Soler can go to DH and Cody can go to right field when Jazz is healthy. So and they got pitching that Chicago would want.
That's my second choice.
I think he would enjoy the highlight of Miami. It seems like he would enjoy a fancy big lights town.
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah. All right. We will move on to the pitcher for the Cubs, Marcus Stroman. Had a bad outing, his last outing, but other than that, has pitched very well. I've got him going to the Orioles, and I think this is I don't know that the Orioles are actually going to trade any of their really good young guys. If they do, I think this is a deal that makes a lot of sense. I've read some articles about how they are going to stand pat with their farm and like try and develop their guys and kind of roll with that. Stroman's really good. I still don't know that would take a ton to get him because it's a rental, and he's had a great year, but he doesn't have a super track record. Like he's always been an above average pitcher, but this year I think is quite a bit of an outlier for him as far as how good he's been. And I think he'd be a lot of fun on that Orioles team too. Like he's a good personality guy, and that's a good personality team. So I think if the Orioles do want to move some of their good young guys, and I say good young guys, it's as far as their farm system, it's still probably a guy outside of the top 5 that really is the key piece there. But anyway, I got Stroman, Orioles.
I went with the Astros.
Ooh.
I feel like they're close to. I mean, they're right there for the top division, right? Or they are now.
They caught the Rangers this weekend, but then Texas pulled back ahead in game 3. So I think it's like a game or half a game separating them. 2 now.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, I was trying to find something. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the rotation guys seem to be on the IL right now. Your boy Christian Javier's hit and miss. So I think they could probably use a guy like Stroman to Corey's point too. Fun young guy in the clubhouse. It seems like good personality. If he's on your team, you like him. If he's not, you're probably mad that he's not on your team.
Yeah.
So that's where I got him going.
I got him going the same place. Yeah. He was mostly successful in the AL East once before, and like you said, I don't think he'll take. You're not gonna sell the farm to get him because he's on an expiring contract, right?
Are you saying the Orioles or the Astros?
Yeah.
What did I say? I said the
AL
Astros.
East. Yeah, you said the same place.
You said the same place and then started talking about the AL East.
Jared just talked about the Astros, and you said same place.
Jared, I thought you said Baltimore.
No.
Oh, my bad, dude. I have my hearings.
I was so confused. So
I have him going to the Orioles.
Corey and Joe say
All right.
Orioles. I agree with Jared. I say Houston as well. I think Houston's going to make an addition. And I think they need to add the rotation more so than their lineup. So I got Stroman to Houston.
You should have just said you're going with the same place. Also.
Same place. And I guess no matter what.
We're all going in the same place. Baltimore, Houston. Anyway. Moving over to the south side of Chicago, talk about Lance Lynn. He's been tossed around a few teams already. I've got Orioles for him too, because I think they could add 2 guys and pay a little bit for Stroman and pay not so much for Lance Lynn. And also, I think Lance Lynn, again, like he is a personality as well, and I think he'd be a lot of fun to watch. And like you get all these guys that just have like these big personalities together. Because Lance Lynn has got some energy that he brings.
I think get these White Sox guys out of the South Side, they're going to all play better.
Yes.
Like, so his ERA doesn't scare me. I think he'll be closer to 4 the rest of the year, not 7.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've got Baltimore adding 2 guys, Stroman, Lynn. Let's do it.
You're wrong.
Okay. That's probably true.
He's going to Cooney's favorite team, the Phillies.
I like that pick too.
I think for the reason that you said too, Corey, because he's a cheaper option. I think Philly's got too much money tied up in a lot of contracts and probably don't want to trade pieces away because they're probably going to have to retool here soon, I would imagine. But I think, again, if we get these people out of the White Sox organization, I think they can be better. I mean, me and Skip know a lot about old Lance Lynn. I'm not a big fan, but he's a big person and a big personality. So, Billy.
I mean, throws fastballs straight and down the middle and has had continued success. Even if you look at I know his ERA is awful this year. He's giving up bombs. Probably because he throws fastballs right down the middle. But, I mean, the rest of his stats are not terrible.
Yeah, nothing's really changed.
So I have Cincinnati taking a swing at him, help him out in the race. Shouldn't be getting back in the NL, and they're familiar with him, so maybe they think they can squeeze some run to the top of the NL Central with him. He ain't gonna run very fast. He's too big, but I'm saying,
Wow, Lance Lynn, take you off. All right. So
Yeah,
I think Lance Lynn's already been off the list before.
Well, no, I've complimented his body before because it gives me hope. So
that's true.
I'm not putting him down.
So do you think
I think that's what took him off the list because he definitely listens to this.
He
podcast.
Googled me and like, ooh, that's great. So I alluded to this earlier, but I had a bigger deal going down between Chicago and the Dodgers, where I had Lynn, Tim Anderson, and Joe Kelly all going to the Dodgers. And that was obviously before Rosario went to the Dodgers, but Tim Anderson's contract and situation is the exact same. A player playing very poorly who would also be under control next year. And so I thought it was kind of deal that LA would send 1 or 2 big prospects and get all 3 of these guys back. So I'll still stick with Lance Lynn going to the Dodgers. He just seems like somebody the Dodgers could bring over and fix instantly. But obviously that bigger deal is probably not going to happen now that Kike and Rosario landed back at the Dodgers. So I don't know where Tim's going to go, but I still have Lynn and Kelly going back to LA.
Yep. Speaking of that, our next 2 guys are Tim Anderson and Joe Kelly, and I also had them going to the Dodgers. So we could just rapid fire these 2 guys because we know you and I have both Tim Anderson and Joe Kelly going to the Dodgers. So Jared, do you want to hit me with TA and JK?
Yeah, we'll go with TA first if that's what we're calling him. Yeah, I think the Rosario threw a lot of wrench in the plans for what Cooney was talking about, but hear me out. I picked TA going to Miami.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah.
And back to Cooney's point of getting Jazz out of center field, I think him and Anderson could be a pretty sweet combo up the middle and feed off of each other. And then I think who do the Marlins have playing shortstop? Like John Birdie and they're rotating people.
Yeah, Birdie and Wendell are platooning. They're both just average.
Exactly. I mean, to your point, it's Anderson's having the best year, but change of scenery can do a lot. And then to JK, who I wish he would just been a Cardinal forever. I'm a huge fan of Joe Kelly. I think he's hilarious. But I put the Rangers.
Yep.
just because I think
like
they
that.
don't need a lot of help, but you could always use pitching in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
What about those bullpen arms, man?
Him and Chapman be fun back to back. Ooh.
Well, Chapman's not even close. He pitched the 7th inning the other day.
They have different closers.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Crap. Go ahead, Joe.
gosh.
Where you got him going?
I don't have Tim Anderson going anywhere,
Okay.
and I don't know. I've never thought Joe Kelly was that good, so I don't know really who would want him, but I guess.
Shocker.
Well, shocker. Do we want to look at stats?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do it. I
No,
can't right
we're
now
not.
because I have baseball gloves
we're
on my hands.
not a
Okay.
numbers podcast.
Wow, a late inning guy with a 1.4 WHIP and the high ERA. So but I haven't gone to the Phillies.
Will Smith is closing. So they
Yes.
could use
D.
a
Will
righty.
Smith.
Yeah, the Will Smith is closing in Texas.
Dang. Good for him.
All right. Now that we're done with the Joe Kelly slander, let's
I
move
mean,
on.
he is killing through this year with a 5 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP. Last year was even better with a 6 and a 1.6.
Playoff teams
Yeah,
always
so-
seem to go for him though.
So you can sell cheap. Exactly.
Yeah, you buy high, sell cheap, right?
That's my crypto investment. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to maybe it's not the lone piece that the Nationals have because I think Lane Thomas will end up playing somewhere else, but he didn't make the list. So we've got Jamer Candelario at third base. for the
Derek's favorite
Nationals.
player.
Yeah. He's
I know
Just-
all about this
he
guy.
just got
baby.
ordered the custom jersey because they don't sell one with his name on the back. I got him going to the Marlins. The Marlins need some left side of the infield help. We've talked about it a few times. Segura playing third base. I think this is a guy. It's in the division, but I don't think the Nationals are going to be too picky about it. But they need help at third. Candelario's the guy that can fill in, and I don't think he'll be very expensive. I think he's on a pretty cheap deal, and it's a rental, straight up rental. But maybe gives them a little bit of a push because they have been playing well somehow. And if you can add a cheap guy that's going to fill a hole that you got a guy with a 600 OPS or whatever, then they should do that. So Candelario to the Marlins.
You locking that in.
I am locking that in.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one who picked him going into the division, but I also picked Philly for this one too.
Very good choice.
Because Edmundo Sosa still playing third base, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do better than that, right, Skip?
Shocker, but I enjoyed Sosa.
Yeah, of course. Why do we
I
like
really
the
did.
Joe
complete
likes the
opposite
bad players. I
Cardinals
don't.
players? This is insane.
A couple weeks ago, he said he
But
doesn't
yeah.
like Nolan Arenado, but Edmundo Sosa. Give me some of that.
Don't make a Skip the
I
GM.
don't
He's
know.
just gonna trade all these
Just
players
some-
away. Instant
I-
doghouse.
They're just hidden gems. You got to find them.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have much to. Like I said, I just found out about this player today. Sorry, Corey. Can you pronounce his name for me again?
Jamer Candelario.
Every time one of
Thank
us
you,
tries
sorry.
to say it, I'll just edit Corey saying it over us.
Thank you, Candelario. You're going to Philly. Locked in.
Yeah. Okay. I had to make sure I'm saying because the first name is tricky. You wouldn't think it's
Yeah.
Jamer.
Yeah, I thought it was Jaime.
Nope.
Did Joe say? Am I up?
No, Joe did not.
I've not
He's-
said. I picked this guy up on my fantasy team, so he's already
Caught your eye. Huh?
on.
He's on Yet Dit Stinking D.
I've already done a.
You have Sosa
deep
on your
dive.
team?
I don't. I should go pick him up right
On
now.
top. Yeah, he needs to be out there.
I have him going to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Instead
feel-
of Arenado, they
I don't
settled
know
for
if they're-
Candelario.
Yeah, I don't think Arenado's going. And I don't know. Maybe they seem to be happy with Muncy, like batting 190 and hitting bombs, but maybe they're not. I don't know.
Yeah, and Martinez is an all-star, so you're not going to DH Muncy unless you put Muncy back at second. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Interesting.
he's under the Mendoza.
Yep. So I've got an interesting trade here. I added a wild card into this trade. I've got the Yankees going for Candelario and Lane Thomas. Like you guys talked about Bellinger, they could use another outfielder who could cover center field when Bader goes down. Lane Thomas, another former Cardinals, having a great year on somebody else's team. He plays all three outfield spots, gets on base. So I don't know, like send Peraza for Candy and Lane Thomas or something like that. Because right now, Donaldson, of course, was the number one third baseman, and he's hurt, but he was playing crappy anyway. So right, LeMahieu and Isaiah kind of Falefa are the top third basemen right now in New York, and they're both OPS and under 700. So it wouldn't be hard to upgrade.
Not
So,
bad.
Candelario and Lane Thomas to the Yankees. That's where I got him going.
All right.
For the sake of time, should we rapid fire these last couple? Like, if we have them moving, say something, but
I have all but one,
you have them all moving?
except for one. Yeah.
I have all but one as well, but I can make mine quick because, like I said, I just took some teams. What I
Just
think.
make him a little
Yeah.
quicker.
Rapid fire.
Do you
Close
want?
it up.
Okay. I got
Do both Mets pitchers right now.
Okay, Scherzer and Verlander. There's three Mets pitchers. Robertson also pitches for the Mets. I got Scherzer going to the Rangers. I think the Rangers make a push. And then if DeGrom comes back and Scherzer still pitches next year for the Rangers, that'd be nuts. But
That'd be fun.
anyway, Scherzer, Rangers, Verlander staying with the Mets, and then David Robertson going to the D-backs.
Okay, I actually got Scherzer going to the Giants. Verlander staying put. Robertson to the Tampa Bay Rays.
All right.
I don't have any of the starters leaving, and David Robertson to the Rangers.
I am the same as Joe. I got Robertson to the Rangers. That same thing you're thinking with Joe Kelly. Get that one more bullpen piece back there. So
And Scherzer and Verlander stay.
staying put. Yep.
All right. A late addition to the list was Jonathan India when the rumors started coming out. I've got him going to the Giants because I think they could use some help up the middle, mostly due to injury. And I think they got the pitchers. They have some pitchers that the Reds could be interested in. And we'll just do the one here, and then we'll hit the two Padres last.
I just don't see India leaving. I know they put him on there, but like I don't know. I think you find a way to make it work with him kind of being a veteran presence on that team, even though he's still pretty young.
Joe?
Yeah, I don't know what that message was meant to be about, but I don't have him going anywhere either. I don't know why you'd. I mean, he's playing all right. Nowhere.
I've actually got him going to the Mariners. Their second base has been a black hole. He's got a couple years of control, so maybe the Reds could pull one of those starters from the Mariners.
All right. Last two to round it out. Blake Snell and Josh Hader, who've been kind of flip-flopped whether or not they're available. Interestingly enough, I have them going to the Reds to help out that staff.
Both of them?
Oh, yeah.
That
They
would
got
be
the pieces
that'd be
to
sweet.
make that deal. Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
like
the Reds could do it. Yeah, if they want to, they could.
Like
very
if you add a great back end and a frontline starter, like and with where they're at, so you know what, send Joey Votto to the playoffs. I don't know if he's coming back next year. That dude is electric.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys watched the clip of the interview he had. Joey Votto's my favorite player.
Yeah, him making fun of Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah, which is he should.
Yeah.
But anyway, both of those guys, the Reds.
That'll be interesting because the Padres need outfielders, though. Like, they really don't need infielders. That's what the Reds have. So I don't know the Reds farm system deep enough to know what they could do to pull that off. So top pieces are all infielders. Maybe it wouldn't take a top piece since they're both rentals. I don't know.
And you got Tatis, you've got Soto, you've got Grisham. Just send Machado out there.
Assuming Soto's not going to be back, but Machado,
Soto's back
Hard.
next year. Like Soto still has another year.
Right, but are they going to
Yeah.
trade him too? So that'd be interesting.
Anyway,
The infield
anyway.
is locked up though.
yes.
Soto's got another year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't.
Okay.
I never really understood why everybody's talked about him. But
Okay, real quick. I got Snell. This may be being one of the biggest splashes in on my list here, but I actually have him going to the rival Diamondbacks.
ooh,
And then Hater to the Rangers.
yeah, this Rangers bullpen. The starters gonna have to go 3
Dude.
innings.
If Jared was the GM there, they would definitely.
Yeah, until Joe Kelly comes in.
Yeah, sure.
That's why he's starting.
Yeah, Soto is ARB eligible next year, so
Yeah.
Thanks for that update. I thought he was traded too. Joe.
Kind
what
of
do you got?
like, yeah, kind of like with. I had New York not trading their two big starters. I feel like San Diego's too proud to like trade anybody. I think they're just gonna keep spending in the offseason. So I don't have those guys going anywhere. They'll stay.
I keep going back and forth on this. Like last year, the Braves had Kinley and still traded for Iglesias. So I got Hader going to the Braves. It seems like something that AA would like to do, but I got Snell staying put.
Fine.
I like it, Aaron.
I don't think Atlanta needs anything else. They got
Yeah,
all
everything.
their lefty. All right, so you might as well get better in the bullpen. Their lefty relievers are all hurt right now.
Well, nobody's Tyler Matzik, that's for sure.
Yeah, Matzik, Mentor, Lee.
And if we all know anything, if Acuna's healthy, you're not winning the World Series. So you might want
brought Pierce Johnson in his first game yesterday. Proceeded to blow the lead to the Red Sox.
Shocker. Oh yeah, what was the thing you said after they traded for Pierce Johnson and Taylor Hearn about bragging about your GM?
I said AA we trust.
Yeah, because he got 2 scrub bullpen guys. Like, great job. Great job, Alex.
That's why I think Hader's coming.
Yeah, he was just priming the pump here.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Yeah.
we won the World Series. Acuna went down, traded for Soler, Duvall, Rosario. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Good luck. Yeah. And they carried us to the World
You
Series.
see Duvall hit a tank against the Braves?
Yep. He's coming back, supposedly.
I'm sure. All right, that wraps up our list of 15
How's the Cubs
guys.
playing?
They're doing well, actually.
Well,
They
should
are
be an
7-3
exciting.
their last 10.
We
The
should have
Braves
plenty
are 3 and
to
7.
should have plenty to talk about next week with guys on the move.
Yeah.
A lot of
Any
So-
guys that we didn't have that you think will be interesting trade chips? Without listing the whole rest of the league, Corey.
to.
Like I
Yeah,
think the Cardinals should move pieces. I don't think they move the big guys, but Edmonds, Yepes, they could help people out. I actually had Gorman going to the Astros, cashing in on him. But
I think
Playing on him.
they sell a lot of pieces as they should.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more action yet. Like I know like the deadline day, but again, at the same like this third wild card, I think just
The
makes
wild card
everything
changes that,
so
sure, yeah.
slow.
I thought
because-
with the Giolito news, like we would just kind of start seeing that, but like kind of a windfall,
Mhm.
waterfall, but no, still quiet.
yeah, I figured the rest of the White Sox at least would go quickly. Like, what's the point now?
So there's 4 teams in the AL that are further than 6 games back of the wild card. So the
And some of those
Tiger,
teams don't have anybody to trade. That's
oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
problem
that's
too.
true. Like the Tigers, I don't think they got Eduardo Rodriguez, who it sounds like might be moving.
I
but
think
he's got
Lorenzen
a
will
couple
be
years.
gone.
Yeah.
Somebody will take Lorenzen.
And then in the NL, it's pretty similar. You got 4 teams that are pretty much out of it. And then the Mets and Padres are right there in the middle, where they probably don't want to trade anybody. But it makes it tough. But at the same time, like I've kind of mentioned, is how much do you weigh? How important is sneaking in that third wild card to you? But anything can happen, obviously. But
So I think the two biggest sellers will be the White Sox because so many guys are expiring contracts and they've been together for so long and it hasn't worked. You got to do something different. And the Cardinals because they have so many repetitive pieces that they can trade from their strength to acquire pitching and be good next year. And as far as buyers, I think Baltimore's in position to be super aggressive. Like they still have, like Holiday's tearing up Double-A. Westberg and Kobe Mayo also play left side of the infield, and you already got Gunnar Henderson. So like they've got some guys. So I think Baltimore and Cincy should be the two biggest aggressive buyers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for it. See what
I mean, it's interesting. You and I both had Shohei going to the Blue Jays, and then neither of us had the Blue Jays doing anything else. And as far as what we talked about, because they are a team, obviously, if they could get Shohei that have pieces that they could do something. But and they are currently
if they
in
got
that third wild card.
Shohei, they wouldn't need. If Shohei's off the table, I would say like Lynn and Snell. Like since I had Shohei going there to be a starter, they didn't need anybody else. But now
That's fair.
Shohei's off the table. I do think the Jays will add a starter and a lefty bat because they got Vlad, they got Springer, they got Chapman, they got Bichette. They're righty heavy. Their lefties don't hit much, so I can see them get a lefty bat somehow. Because Brandon Belt is doing nothing out there.
Yep. I mean, he's in like 250. He's doing better than I thought he would, which for a guy hitting 250 is saying a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, without Shohei, they will do something.
yeah. All right. Do we have any surprise segments? Or are we ready to move on to our weekend predictions? There's one person here who usually brings the surprise segments.
Throw the curveballs at us.
Yeah.
No curveballs tonight.
All right.
Let's move on.
He's Lance Lennon it.
Yep. Straight
That's
Straight
fastballs right down the middle.
fastballs.
All right. With Shohei staying put, this will be an interesting series. The Angels at the Blue Jays. Put this on here because it was going to be my cool. Shohei's going to the Blue Jays. But they're going to play. Yeah. I think the Angels are feeling the electricity. There's something in the air. They've got that they've got the faith put into them.
Because you gotta have faith.
Shohei's staying. They're adding pieces. I'm taking the Angels over the Blue Jays. Are we all taking the Angels, or are we all just doing Angels in the outfield?
I'm not taking them, but I gotta do this.
Oh, sorry.
I'm taking them.
Angels.
Just call me Al.
Jared, what'd you say?
Yes. Angels.
Yes. All right. So then Joe's Blue Jays, and then Aaron is Angels.
Correct.
Oh, before we get into this too far,
Yeah,
I do
what was
want
last
to
week?
recap last week
Yeah, I don't think I did too well.
because
You're still in the lead, I think.
5-0 right here, turning it
Ooh.
around. Watch
Ooh.
out.
And
Which
you're
nobody
still back like 15
nobody knew
games.
our picks last week, so I could have just
Yeah, we did them off the
punched
air.
these numbers. Aaron went 4-1, and then Jared and Joe were 3-2.
That mean I take over first or tie?
Are we
You're
tied?
tied. Yeah, Joe and Aaron are tied. Jared's one back. I am. So Aaron and Joe are 34 and 28. Jared's 33 and 29. I am 29 and 33. So
Got a
Five.
losing record.
yeah, I'm 5 back. So that's
Time
you
to
go.
sell.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know what to sell.
just keep sweeping.
Give your fans a false
Keep
hope.
sweeping, just keep sweeping.
Next one up is the Mariners at Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have hit a bit of a scuffle, I think.
I would not have voted for them this week. Just throwing it out.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I definitely can't pick them to win this series. So I'm going to take the Mariners.
Yep. Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle.
It's not your turn, but thanks.
Oh, yeah. I went third last time.
You go
You
fourth
didn't.
for weekend predictions every time. It's the same.
I don't remember.
Well, can I go?
Yes.
No.
No.
I
You don't
think
get a
it's
pick.
fun.
Yeah, I got Seattle as well.
Okay. Oops. Next up, Reds at Dodgers. I was
Who
I
are
just-
these
Good
pitchers?
matchup.
What
Good
is going
matchup,
on?
Corey.
I know. Well, that's what I was sitting here looking at. I was like, oh, surely I'll take the Dodgers. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, I know who Bobby Miller is. And I saw there was an interesting, I don't know if it was in one of our Slacks channels, but Luke Weaver's got an ERA of like 7 in the past 10 games, and the Reds are 9-1 in those games.
Mhm.
So that's a win for them right there. But yeah, there is one pitcher I'm excited about, and that's Bobby Miller. And then there's one guy another guy I know who's Luke Weaver, who's just been around forever. So I don't know what these pitching matchups are, but I'm gonna take the Reds because I have no idea. But Fangraphs hates that pick. But who cares about them? I do.
Done.
Jay-
Yep.
You
yep,
said
yep.
Dodgers
Oh,
really
sorry.
quickly?
Well, that's who I'm taking, but because they're newly acquired third baseman Nolan Arenado.
He'll be there tomorrow night.
Yep.
All right, I'll wait and go fourth. Joe, you're up. I don't get yelled
Yeah,
at.
I didn't even know Luke Weaver was on the Reds. Wow.
Same.
So that means never mind. Yeah, Dodgers.
I'm going Reds. They get destroyed by Brewers and then beat everybody else. So
All right.
Brewers are 10-3 against the Reds this year. That's crazy. That's why they're in first place.
Next up, the Red Sox at Giants. Again, oh, the only person I don't recognize is Cutter Crawford, but
Great pitching
I
name, though.
what?
A good pitching name.
That's true. He only throws sliders.
Knuckleballer, I think.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Knuckles and emphasis.
I'm gonna take the Giants because I like the Giants. I think they're gonna make some moves. I'm not sure what the Red Sox are gonna do. All of these series technically are gonna take place prior to the deadline anyway, but it still makes me nervous about what these teams are gonna actually look like tomorrow.
I took the Giants because I forgot how atrocious their jerseys are. That are those blue and yellow ones. I was watching the Braves game the other night.
They work, though, man.
I don't care. Those things are gross. They never need to wear them again. So Giants, and that's my reasoning.
Perfect.
I like it.
If y'all remember my
I do.
prediction of the Red Sox,
Uh-huh.
I still don't understand how they're playing as good as they are. So long story short, Giants.
I'm going Red Sox because they just embarrassed the Braves. And they look good, except for they have 2 openers, and Devers has no idea how to play third base, and yet they still win. So,
Just like me.
Red
Whenever
Sox.
I played baseball, I had no idea how to play third base.
Hey, that
Mhm.
Rookie of the Year pick is looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's playing all right.
And then I am so excited
Why is this
because
out there?
this is the only time where these teams could be in the preseason or the weekend predictions, and they have an even chance of being picked by either anybody. Because if they play any other teams, we're obviously going to choose the other teams. So, to wrap it up, circle it on my calendar. Athletics at the Rockies. Who do we got? I am taking the A's. Keep them in Oakland. Wear some green jerseys. The Rockies are a mess, and they always will be. Athletics.
Yeah. I also stand with Oakland. Fun fact, the Rockies are still paying some of Arenado's contract. So that's fun.
How's Austin Gomer doing, and whoever else they gave up?
Bad.
That's pretty much
Hilarious
it.
Montero, third baseman. I already
Yeah.
say his name.
Yeah. Nobody else needs to try and pronounce some of these names.
I have Oakland winning. I can't even name anybody on the Rockies other than the 2 people you just said they got for Arenado.
Well, Chris Bryant's there, but he's
Who you
always
going
hurt.
with?
Well, I mean, that doesn't count. He's hurt and he's not playing.
So who's your pick?
The A's.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going Oakland as well. Is this JP Sears, Kyle Freeland maybe the best pitching matchup besides Giolito Gospin. Like, it's actually a good pitching matchup this weekend. And the rest of these teams are throwing out no-namers and rookies.
I mean, the Mariners and D-backs, I think, have some guys.
Tommy Henry? Brandon Fott has not been good. Merrick Kelly's been good.
If it was anybody, like if they had somebody besides, like, I mean, the Mariners, they are throwing out like Gilbert and Castillo are good to watch.
Castillo Kelly will be a good matchup. I didn't see that one.
But yeah, other than that, I mean,
A lot of random matchups.
I will take. I have said every time I'll take suggestions for people who want to pick the weekend series.
Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it's weird that the Athletics Rockies has the second or third best pitching matchup
Yeah.
out of all these games. Because a lot of teams are hurting for starting pitching. Like all these teams could take Flaherty, could take Snell in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
We're talking about trades. Like these are all contenders, these first 4 games. And every single one of them needs at least one starter.
Yeah, and the Athletics and Rockies might be contenders next year. So if they can get a guy for the couple years.
I mean, Blackburn will probably be traded, and Sears has
That's
actually been in rumors to be traded, which he's under team control for a lot, but there's so many teams that need pitching that I've seen his name pop up. And Freeland too, but I can't see the Rockies actually trading a pitcher who can actually pitch in Denver.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I put these matchups on here right before we started, and I was like, oh my goodness, these are no bueno. But all right, so we really didn't differ too much on
No, we
most
didn't.
of those guys. Besides, so it was 3-1 Angels over Blue Jays, sweep for the Mariners, split on Reds Dodgers, 3-1 Giants over Red Sox, and sweep for the Athletics at the Rockies. I thought somebody took the Rockies just for home field, but
I'm about to switch now.
Yeah, locked in.
Locked it in.
yeah, we are almost
Alrighty.
nobody's the same, I think, but
I was getting close to you on the same.
Yeah.
Giants, Red Sox, I think. Alrighty, guys. Any final thoughts as we close out another episode?
just got MLB trade rumors at the ready.
That's right. So
Yep.
next week will be what, the 2nd?
Yes.
And so we will be coming back at you guys after the trade deadline is all done. So we'll have all kinds of trade analysis. We'll look back at our predictions and see how stupid we are. And we were also
Looking
going
pretty stupid.
We're also going to revisit our preseason predictions as we look at the final quarter of the season and see
We
where
probably
our-
don't have to do that.
our standings.
We don't.
where our
We don't need
standings.
to- we don't
I
need to
want
do
to
that.
because I'm sitting pretty on 4
It's
out of 6
probably okay.
divisions. 4 out of 6 divisions. I'm all right. The Centrals both screwed me over, but other than that, I'm doing all right. So I guess until next time, guys, don't forget to rate
Rake.
your
positions.
Rake.